Hello. Today we're going to take a look at bookmarks in AndBible. The bookmark menu can be found in the main menu under bookmarks. This bookmark screen shows you all of your bookmarks by default. You can filter them using the drop-down menu to filter any individual bookmark. Okay. And you can also sort the bookmarks by either date order, so you can see your most recent bookmarks, or by Bible order. So we can scroll through and see all of our bookmarks from A to Z. To manage our individual bookmarks, you can click this top menu here. And this will show the default bookmark is this unlabeled bookmark. So if you create a bookmark, it'll be unlabeled. If you'd like to add a label, you can create as many labels as you would like. As you can see here, each label can have a different styling option and can be auto-assigned, can be set as a favorite, can have its own icon. And we'll take a look at those in a minute. But let's go back and I'll show you how to create a bookmark. So if we're just reading our Bible, you can select any individual verse. And then we get this nice action menu, which we'll explore more in future videos. But for now, we can just choose bookmark. Now we can see this bookmark pop-up shows up and it is assigning the unlabeled bookmark. Now, if all you're trying to do is just create a bookmark that you can get back to at some point in the future, that's all you should need to do. You can close out and you can see the bookmark is here. We can also close out of that and we can continue reading. And then some point in the future, if we wanted to get back to that verse, we could go into our bookmark menu, sort by date order. And there's our latest bookmark, and we can hop right back to it. If we want to use bookmarks more for highlighting and different color underlining, then we can start using labels in a more advanced way. So let's go ahead and change this bookmark. We can tap on it once. We can see now this action menu pops up. We can add an additional bookmark, or we can modify the existing one. Let's go ahead and modify by tapping on the existing bookmark. And we can add different labels. Let's go ahead and add the blue label. And if we go into this bookmark menu, we can see what styling is applied to this blue label. Tap on the blue label. There we are. And we can see that this is currently set as a favorite label, and there's no specific styling. That means that by default, labels will be highlighted whatever color the label is. So we can see this is a blue label. If we wanted to, we could change the color, and that will change all labels that are already assigned this blue label to use this new color. So let's go back out. Now that we have the blue label, I'll close out of our dialogues, and we can see we have a blue highlight now. We can go ahead and tap on that verse again, and we can add an additional label if we want. Let's go ahead and add a red one this time. Okay, close out of that. And now we can see we have two highlightings, blue and red, on the same verse. If I tap on the verse, I can see I have the blue and the red label now showing up in two separate bookmarks. If I want, I can add multiple labels to an individual bookmark. This may start getting a little confusing, but it can be handy when doing different types of study or when you want to group bookmarks together. So I'm going to tap on this blue bookmark here, and I can tap blue at the top. And now I can select additional bookmarks. So I could add a green bookmark, or I can add an underline bookmark to this. Close out. Close out. Now I have those additional bookmarks on there. And I think my underline bookmark is misleading. So let's go ahead and check that out. We'll tap on underline. Go to my bookmark labels. Tap on underline here. And it does say use underline style for selection bookmarks. So that is correct. But as we can see, the blue label currently has a ribbon next to it here. So that means that that label is the primary label. For this individual bookmark, the blue is what's going to be highlighted. Now, if I want, I can tap underline and make that my primary label for this specific bookmark. And we can now see that the yellow underline is what is showing. And you can toggle between those if you wanted to. You can change it to green or yellow. You can easily remove bookmarks just by tapping on them in here. And that takes them out. Now, a few more features about labels themselves. Let's go back in. Tap on this. Oops, sorry. I hit select or edit labels and go into our label manager here. And if you click on a label, we can see we can use underlines. We'll just underline the words in the verse or the selection. You can show only the marker. And what that will do is it will show whatever icon you have set for this label. So currently we have a bookmark icon. You can tap here and change that icon. So if we want it to be a cross, we could do that. And then by selecting these two options here, we can only show the icon. This is great for minimal distractions when you're reading. So let's go ahead and scroll down here. We'll create a new bookmark using that blue label. Close out. And now you can see just at the end of this verse right here, we have the bookmark. And it's just showing up as a cross. Simple and out of the way. Now you can tap on it and still get to it. And you can still add a note if you wanted to this bookmark, which we'll take a look at doing that in a different video. Let's go back in one last time to manage our bookmark labels. And I did want to show you that you can, at the top here, you can reorder your bookmarks and you can export them, which is very handy. So when you do an export, you can choose which labels, and these are called study pads because the study pad will show every single verse that that label has been assigned to. So let's say I want to export this one. And I can click share, or I can save it to my phone's storage. And it will export a zip file that you can send to someone else who can then import into their AndBible, or you could just use it as a backup and import it at some later point in time. You can create new labels, as many as you would like. Change your color. You can choose a custom color if you'd like. You can set the label to be a favorite, so it shows up at the top when creating new bookmarks. You can change your icons as we saw before. You can use underline. You can show just the marker if you'd like, or you could even hide it altogether. So it'll create the bookmark. There'll be no visual indication that the bookmark has been created, but you'll still be able to see it in the main bookmark menu. Something also that can be quite handy is this bottom option here to auto assign the label for new bookmarks. So if you're doing a Bible study on the love of God, and you created a label called the love of God, and you're looking up verses about that, you could just set it to automatically assign this specific label every time you create a bookmark. And then you could later on come in and toggle that off. Now you can see there is this icon on this option with the tag with the circle around it, and that's what indicates it's auto assigned. So if we go back out now that we've created this, you can see right here it has been set to auto assign. The tag is circled, and we could auto assign multiple if we really wanted to, and you can toggle them on and off easily here. So if you were doing your Bible study, you could toggle that on while you're doing your Bible study, and then when you're done, you can toggle that back off. You can also search for your labels here, which can be handy. And there is this search option here. You can choose to search. Currently, it's going to search. The label has to start with whatever you're typing. And then if you toggle this, you can search for any part of the word. Now, these ones at the top are only showing because they are selected on the current bookmark that I have. But the search is showing additional bookmarks. So you could go and toggle those on if you'd like. And that's the basics of bookmarking in AndBible. Definitely give it a try, see how it works for you. And if you have suggestions, go ahead and file an issue on GitHub or send some feedback using the menu here. And if you find the app useful, definitely please do sponsor the developer.